Hi there, guys. I'm really smiling like this because this is literally take five of on this video. I keep having to get up or something keeps happening, whatever. I'm gonna get through this video. Now, let me give a little background. Um, this video is probably going to get a little backlash, you know. We'll see, but at the end of the day, it is a truth that I feel needs to be spoken about. It's something that I see, it's something that I see beginning to happen. And because I see it, I want to, I kind of want to talk about it because it affects people. I mean, all these little movements and so forth, whether people look at them as movements or not, it sadly will become a just another fad movement unless things begin to happen to really change the direction of the way things are going. But this video, I'm going to be making a comparison to two different groups, both involving men and women. And I want to um, also, let me just say this right here. I also wrote things down because I'm trying to be a little bit more structured. Sometimes I will derail a little bit. There's a lot of people who have to write things down and, to kind of keep on task. I've never really worked that way. So even that is a little different for me. I literally get on here and sit down and talk to you guys like you're my friends. Like I really do. And I think sometimes people who don't know that about me or about my channel will come here and be like, because they don't see me doing things the way other content creators do it. They'll think, oh, well, what's wrong with your platform? Oh, that must be why you're so small because you're doing it different. It's not why I'm so small. It's not the reason. First of all, I am so thankful for my subscribers and the growth that I have been seeing because I honestly have been seeing a lot. So I want to thank you guys for that. Um, it's really just like I said, the way that I do things and have always done things. When I am inspired to do something, I kind of just get up and I just do it. Um, even when I was briefly even when I was in ministry for 15 years, I was in ministry. Um, and I had to do a sermon. I would pretty much maybe write down some outlines or something like that. But for the most part, I just spoke from me, from whatever spirit gave. That's how I do. And I find myself still doing that, even, with my videos and how I sit down and talk to you guys. And I actually like it and enjoy it because it keeps me from feeling like I gotta, well, you gotta do this way, and you have to, stay up with other people and make sure you do things the way that they're doing and all that. I don't like to do that, you know what I'm saying? But I will um, in this video try to keep myself a little bit more structured. So if you see me turning my head, it is because I have notes and I am trying to stay on task. So with that being the case, um, I'm going to give you guys three little short um, examples, maybe, because I was about to say stories, but they're not really stories. They're just maybe more examples of kind of what I'm talking about in order to really go into what I want to talk about in this video. Now, with that being the case, now guys, all three of these examples just happen to be on TikTok. It's not a slide or whatever, anything at TikTok. It just so happened that's where, these incidents occurred. Um, so This particular incident, and you guys will see, like I just said, it's going to all tie in. This particular thing on TikTok. Now, mind you, I've never gone live on TikTok. I actually think I probably do have enough followers, I believe. But I have not gone live. There's still a lot about the platform that I really seriously don't know. Um, so I was in this one person's live. Now, this one person, she's very, very popular. She's a black lady. She's very, very popular on TikTok. She has pretty engaging um po- um, post, podcast. I'm not sure what you call them. Topics. Topics. She has pretty engaging topics. And and she has a lot of followers. And I there was one day, I don't know what the topic was. I don't know, whatever. I think this was a weekend. I was home. I just jumped on there. And you're just scrolling through lives, through different people's lives. So I came across hers. And I had been, maybe I should say this, I had been listening to her, I don't know, off and on for a few months maybe. But I was kind of going to her platform quite often. I mean, you get these notifications and they pop up on your timeline. Anyway, with that being the case, so I don't remember what the topic was about. Um, but she had a little grandkid over there. Now, mind you, another thing, this lady is a very pretty, very attractive black lady. Like, you wouldn't even think that that was her grandkid. You'd be thinking that that was her kid. I mean, she looks very, very good. I think she even probably has a grown child or two. So, there no hate coming from me with that. But anyway, so I don't remember what her topic was, and I got into her live, and I might have been there 3, 4 minutes, maybe, because I popped in, and sometimes I'll just kind of try to listen and hear what it's about, and sometimes I can, and sometimes I can't, real quick. This time I could not. I didn't know what they were talking about. It seemed like actually they had probably been talking about something and then just kind of took a little detour break or whatever and started talking about something else. So she had her little grandkid over there, and the grandkid was like kind of making noise and things like that while she was on the live. So she was, kind of talking to him and trying to do the live too. So um I said, this is how it started. I said, what's the topic? Or I might have said something like, hey guys, what's the topic, or something like that. And surprisingly, first of all, she saw my comment and said anything. Now I'm telling you guys, this lady has a lot of people, a lot of followers. So for her to even point me out is like, like, why, how do you know me? Like, how did because I'm just a little small fish on TikTok. Like, I don't, and I only make comments. I don't go live. I haven't been on anyone's panel or anything like that. Um, so I said, "Hey guys, what's the topic? Whatever." And she said, you're the topic, blah blah, whatever what my name is on TikTok that I don't want to give out, but she said, the topic is you. We're talking about you. And, you know, I thought that was kind of funny because I'm just like, wow, shit, I didn't know you know me. Like, for real? Like, okay, that's weird. So I'm like, obviously she's joking. And I said something like, oh no, not about me, or, something like that I said. Just being silly. And so she said something else, but anyway, her little grandson was, like just kind of laying all over her, and he just really wanting attention, and just really being, like the center of whatever. Cute little boy, maybe, I don't know, 3, 4, cute little boy. And so I said, I'm looking for attention. Now, I'm talking about the grandbaby. You know what I'm saying? Because everybody was saying stuff about the, like, oh, he's so cute, and oh, he just want to be around his grandma, whatever. And I said, I'm just looking for attention or whatever. And she goes, again, she pointed me out. She goes, yeah, I know you just looking for attention. That's why you came over here. You just looking for attention. Now, first of all, I'm shocked because I'm like, okay, that's twice, and despite being twice, like, what do you mean? Like, what do you mean I want attention? Like, I don't even know you like that, and why are you responding to me like that? Like, I don't get it. So, um, so when she said that, I said, well, I was talking about your grandbaby, just looking for attention, want to be around his grandma, whatever. Like, I'm talking about your grandkid. And it's actually, I think, one other exchange. She said something, I said something else, but I still was not getting it. I still was like, what is this about? Like, I was being slow. You know. Um. So anyway, that was that. That was that. And I listened for a little bit longer, but I was feeling some kind of way. Like, I really was. Like, this woman, was like calling me out, and I don't know why. I don't even know her, you know. Um, so that was it. And honestly, I have not been back on her lives, and that's been some months ago. So I just figured, because it still made me be like, well, what was that about? Like, how do you even know me, whatever. Anyway, so next incident, I'm on live again. This is a guy's live. A guy that he has great topics. I actually subscribe to him, which means I support him. Um, just just a good guy. You know what I'm saying? No, just he's just a good guy with really good topics, and yeah. So um so this particular time, this was, let's see what happened second. Okay, so I got added. And what I mean by saying at is when they put the little, the little, I think that's in the little at symbol. Okay, I'll just leave it like that. The at symbol, this woman just added me. Now, I don't know her. I don't usually at people at all when I'm in those lives or anything. I might at somebody if they say something or whatever and I agree with it, or we say the same thing or something, I might, do a laugh emoji or say something like, oh, I was thinking the same thing or something like that. But to just at somebody and talk to them, or um even especially arguing, like, I don't be pointing people out. Like, I really don't. I listen to the host, the guest, and then I make my comments on that kind of stuff. Like, I don't, and this is even people who, because a lot of times people kind of run in the same circles on these different lives. I see a lot of the same people that I see in other lives. And so, um, I'm just commenting on the topic. Like, literally, I'm commenting on the topic. I have not said nothing to nobody. I ain't said no, like, no one has ever, like, no mods or whatever has never had to stop me for anything I've said or anything like that. So, I don't know what I said. Don't remember what the topic was to this guy, but I said something like I had been. And this one particular lady just points me out and she says something like you need to hush or you need to just hush or whatever. And I was like, um, excuse me, like, but what do you mean? Who are you? Whatever. Like, I'm commenting on, the guest. Like, I don't even know you. Like, why are you adding me? You know? And she came back and said something smart or whatever, and something to the effect again of just hush or be quiet and whatever. Then she added on there, grandma. And again, I'm just like, okay, so is that supposed to be an act? Is that supposed to be an insult? And even if it was supposed to be a insult, why? Like, I don't know you, you don't know me, like what? And y'all, if any of you have been on TikTok or anything like that, everybody be saying stuff like, I don't cuss people out. I don't like what I'm trying to say is that there's no reason that my comments should stick out above anybody else's. Like literally. So, she said that, and I'm just like, I mean, because first thing out of my mouth is like, who tries to insult someone for being a grandma? Like, that's one of the joys, literally, of my life is to finally be a grandma. Like, I've been wanting to be a grandma forever, and but of course, I could wait because I knew my son was not emotionally and whatever ready, and my daughter certainly isn't. So just the fact that I'm very, very excited and happy to finally be a grandma. And I'm very proud of that. Like I got a t-shirt that I made with my grandson's name on it and says such and such grandma. Like that's how proud I am. So anyway, um next thing I know, because what I did is I asked him like, well, hey, like, can you not at me again? Like, can you like just like I don't know you. Like I don't know why you're bothering me, why you singled me out. Please don't at me again. And that was it. From my standpoint, that was it. Next thing I know, I'm just still listening or whatever, and I go to write a comment, and it says you have been muted for the entire live or something to that effect. And I'm like, the hell? Now, I finally find out this girl was a mod. Once again, excuse my ignorance because I still don't really know what mods do. I know that they help the podcasters like monitor comments and monitor people too. But like I don't know their power. I don't know is there rules to that gets you kicked off, that don't whatever. Like I don't know. Um but so like I said, I wonder like why, what did you mute me for? Like I didn't say anything. I'm literally asking you not to at me and insult me and call me out when I didn't say anything to you. So I have another account on there. Well, it's not that I have another account, it's that I have another phone. And so I just used that phone to log in on, and I was still able to make comments and things like that. But it still bothered me. And plus, I was at work. Even I have a lot of time at work, but it bothered me because I'm just like, what was all that about? So that really, So the third incident, real quick. The third incident was a um, woman, same guy that I was speaking about, his live, and they were talking about women wearing lots and lots of makeup. And there was some guy was saying something about, men don't like women with all the gook all cooked up on their face and all that kind of stuff. And, you know, and some other comments were being made. And I said something to the effect of, I must have said real women don't wear that much makeup every day anyway. Like that's not something that, just regular women do. And I said that. That's all I said. Wasn't talking to nobody or whatever. It was a response to a comment that somebody on the panel said. A guy said. So I get at it again by some other woman, and she writes, "That is the most pick me thing I've ever heard. No, I've ever heard in my life," or something like that. And I'm like, okay, first of all, here we go again. I'm getting at it. And I said, to say that regular women don't wear a whole bunch of makeup every day is pick me. And she wrote back and she said, "Oh, I thought you said real women." And so I wrote back to her and I said, "Well, yeah, real everyday regular women don't usually wear that much makeup like that all the time." And then she writes back, "Oh, I thought," what did she say? She wrote back, she said, um, she said something about, "Oh, I thought you meant something else," or maybe she just said "oh" or something like that. But anyway, I'm just like, okay, that was another weird exchange. Like, why? Okay, here's what it makes me think without going too much because I still got a whole video to make. So I'm thinking to myself like, oh no, there's another one actually that I wanted to share. So then this now this is a woman who I listen to. This particular woman, I support her panel too. I'm a monthly subscriber to her because I like her personality. I like she's very no nonsense. She's very just tell it like it is. I like people like that. And so I subscribe to her. And she has a platform where, like I said, a lot of the other people they all kind of run in the same group. So I see a lot of the same people on her platform. So this day I was on her platform and I had been on her platform for like a few hours. Like I had a lot of time that day. And one of the people that I see all the time, if they were on her panel, you know, but I see them all the time. So I'm good, comfortable, whatever. And I saw people beginning to put F1, F1, F1. Now, mind you, I have seen people doing F1 before. I've heard this is a guy, this is an African guy. And he will say a lot of times when I listen to his live is crazy, but anyway, um, he says, support the panel, hit F1, hit F1. I don't know what F1 means. I really don't. But like I say, I've seen it, I think, on his platform, maybe some other guy, I think I've seen where they be encouraging people to hit F1 and support the platform. I don't know what that means. But I start seeing people writing F1 in the comments. So I saw them doing that on hers. And I added, this time I did, I added one of the ladies who I see all the time, you know, and she sees me on the panels or whatever, not on the panels, but in the comments. And I said, "What does F1 mean?" Never got a response. She never said anything. And which I thought was weird. I was surprised. I thought it was weird because I'm just like, well, I know they read the comments, so I know they saw it. And it wasn't like a whole bunch of comments were going real fast at that time, like things that kind of slowed down. So I know they saw it. So then I waited a few minutes, maybe 5 minutes or so, and I asked, I said, "Hey guys," or whatever, or like for anyone, "Can y'all tell me what F1 means? I see it all the time." Nobody said anything. Nobody responded to me at all. Even the host, like nobody said anything. And of course, again, I'm starting to feel like, were they ignoring me personally? Like that, because it's like that's twice, and I know they see it. Like, why aren't they saying anything? Um, so I never got my answer. I still don't know. That's been maybe a month or so now. I still don't know what F1 means. And, if it is a way, like, here's what gets me. If it is a way to support the panel, and I am a monthly subscriber to you, why wouldn't y'all tell me how I could support her platform more? Because that's what I'm like. I'm subscribed already. Like, I don't get that part. And so that brings me to my topic. Now, I want to talk about, with that being the case, remember those little examples that I gave you guys because they are relevant. Um, I want to talk about why it seems patriarchy is winning and this movement of decentering men is not. Now, um, I want to go into a few comparisons to the movements, both of them, and why I personally feel like patriarchy is winning. And patriarchy probably will continue to win unless some different things change or some things change with women and how women relate and respond to each other. At the end of the day, just to kind of sum it up really quick, the main thing that I see as to the reason why I feel like patriarchy is winning and this decentering men is not, it's because simply men support each other. Men support each other. Women do not support each other to the extent that it would really make an impact to this decentering movement. Patriarchy, first of all, has been here for the longest, before most of us were even born. This decentering men movement is fairly new. The concept to it, maybe even the way it's being done, all of that is really not new. You know what I'm saying? Women have been tired of feeling like slaves to men. Women have been tired of not having support for men. Women have been tired of, feeling like they do all the work and men get to come home after work and, just hang out and he just pay bills but he gets, everything laid out for him. Um, and so that is why I believe we're seeing. I did a video on this. I asked that you guys would go and check it out. I said women of all ages were decentering men. That's the name of the video. And I see it. I understand it. I made that video on it. I talked about what women are saying, why they're decentering men. That is the crux of the video. And like I said, I do understand it. As a woman, I understand it. But the unison is just not there. The unity among women is just not there in order to fight the way the in order to fight and win the way men are winning with patriarchy. Now, briefly, I'm going to go through some of these examples that I made. Now, the first thing, the first comparison between patriarchy and decentering men, both of them are movements that are for self. Now, what I mean by that, real briefly, is the move, if a man is, into patriarchy and everything, for the most part, it is a movement of self in that the man is looking at how maybe not, how being in this patriarchal world benefits him personally. He can move up. He's a man. He can make more money. There's just structures and things set in place with being a man in a patriarchal system. That hopefully is self-explanatory. Decentering men. That is about a woman, prioritizing herself, prioritizing her future, prioritizing her life, going on trips, going on vacation, working, doing her own thing, having her own money, like all of this stuff. So that's what it means when I'm talking about them doing it for self. Now, the next part that I see in patriarchy is the movement itself, the whole movement itself. Um, I see that way more organized with men because a man, even though because he's in this patriarchal system and patriarchy just, it works the same. It operates the same for all men, whether in America, whether in Europe, whether in China, whether wherever they are. Patriarchy as a movement works the same to benefit men. Okay. Now, when you start talking about this decentering men movement, I personally, I don't see where it's an overall advantage for all women. It's not inclusive. I don't see where it's inclusive like patriarchy is. What I see, and I'm going to be honest, this is not a slight at women at all. Y'all know on this channel, that's what I do. I talk about women. I talk about women issues. I support women, but I also am fair. And I still call out wrong where I see it. Like it doesn't matter where it is. If it's in the women, if it's in the men. And I'm be the first to admit, I get more on men. I really do. I really do. So I will admit. But there are some things that you just can't sweep under the rug and just ignore just because, oh well, it's women, so you can't say nothing. I don't want to be that way because that's gonna make me feel like I'm being a hypocrite. So what I see with women is I see this movement not being all inclusive to all women. I see a lot of cliques. I see a lot of I don't know you, we in this group together. I see a lot of I see a lot of women like really, really badgering other women, but I'm gonna get into that in a minute. I see at the end of the day just a lot of mean girls. That's what I see. Um, and it is as well very high schooly. Now I gotta say that because I hear women all the time talking about emotionally unintelligent men who um who act like high school. They're just emotionally unintelligent. They act like high school boys in the locker room talking about girls and women and rating women and all this kind of stuff. But at the same time, as much as I love my sisters, I gotta say, a lot of the behavior and things that women still do, I don't see a lot of support for just women, period. I don't see a lot of that. I see support for their group. I see support for their friends. I see support for the women that they hang around. That's honestly what I see. Um, I see, like I said, I see a lot of behavior that if we don't know you or if you're not in our group, then we kind of just gonna shut you out. We just gonna ignore you. We just gonna whatever. And am I speaking a little bit of myself? Yeah, I am. Yeah, I am. If that's how it's coming off, if that's what, yeah, it is, because I have been accused of being a pick me when I clearly am not. Like, women are saying that I'm a pick me when nothing really that I see on my platform would sustain me being a pick me. Not in the classic sense of what y'all say a pick me is. Now, if you're changing the definition, which I'm beginning to see as well, and I'm going to talk about that. When you change the direction of what the word means, then okay, well then y'all gonna just start putting everybody in the pick me role who's not in your group or who you don't know or what have you, because that's the way it's looking to me. Men come over here and call me a feminist. So I can't be a feminist and a pick me too. So you know what I'm saying? I know that I'm not a pick me. Um, but I think the problem I think the problem with that is that now let me talk a little bit about so my next point is what I want to talk about. Now, when you talk about the patriarchy for the most part is pretty much open to all men. Like I don't see men saying that, oh well, you can't be a part of us because of whatever. Like I see men standing up, protecting other men even when they're wrong. Like I have seen men so wrong about something, and you have whole groups of other men standing around them, rallying for them, all on one accord, together, solid brotherhood. That's what I see, even in the face of wrong, in the face of what looks like uh just just bigotry, like in the face of like how could y'all even say that, they stand together. I don't see that with we women. I really don't. I don't see that with we women. I see with we women a lot of, like I just said, this is our group, this is who we are, this is what we do. And I see a lot of mean girl activity. I don't see women standing around and supporting other women the way that men stand around and support other men, even in the face of wrong. Now, I'm not saying that women need to support women when they're wrong. I'm not saying that. I'm just pointing out the fact that men do it. That's all. And it keeps the patriarchy tight because they're all on one accord. They all got the same mind. They all got the same word, same speaking point, same all of that. And you guys, I know you have heard people say stuff like, Are y'all using the same playbook? Like, how do y'all all say the same thing no matter where you are, what city you in, what age you in? If you're in this patriarchy thing, all of them sound the same. They all are on one accord. Again, I don't see that with women. I don't see that with women. I see the same way that men call other men simps for saying nice things to women, being kind to women, or, not fully being on, you know, the patriarchy bandwagon, they'll get called simps or panderers or things like this. Now, it came to me a couple of weeks ago, and as much as it really bothers me to even have to say this, I see women doing the same thing. I see women when other women don't, maybe if they don't agree with them, or it seems to me, honestly, some of these women are on a thing where if you don't 100% hate men and maybe sleep with other women or be a lesbian or whatever, and I'm throwing that out there because it matters. Not because I care who sleep with who, not because I'm in somebody else's bedroom. I don't care what another woman does with her vagina. I really don't. That's not the point that I'm saying that for. But I have seen other women shame and try to embarrass straight women for still liking men. Or, you might agree with them on this point, that point, and that point, but when they're talking about, oh, well, I'm just going to get another woman, I'm going to be with another woman, and you're not on that, or you don't agree with that, it's almost like a ridicule, or it's almost like something wrong with you, or like they feel like you're calling them out in some way. And it's like, nobody calling you out. I just still love men. Like, here's the thing. I can talk about what, the issues with men, and the way relationships and things are going, and some of the stuff that I see about men and dating that really, really bothers me and I do not like. But that don't mean I don't like men. Like, that don't mean I still don't, one day eventually, when I'm ready, want a good relationship. That's not. I've never got on here and ever said I hated men. Like, that don't. I mean, I'm just not attracted to women sexually. Like, I'm never going to be a lesbian. I already know that. I'm never going to. But like I say, it's not right though when women will call you a panderer, or a pick me because you still sleep with men, or you like men. Like, that's not what it's supposed to be about, because here's the flip side to that. The flip side to that is that the patriarchy accepts gay men. They accept, like I said, men of all different races, all different background. Like, it doesn't matter where you are, where you come from, if you sleep with men or sleep with women, the patriarchy embraces you because you're just there for the movement. Like, if you agree with us, if you are on point with us, hey, we got, like, I don't even think I've ever seen anything about the patriarchy saying something about gay men. Now, maybe I may be wrong, but I don't think they discriminate. But like I say, there's a lot of women in this decentering movement who, if you don't hate men, or if you still sleep with men, or if you even have any hope out for men, or to have a relationship or things like that, even if you don't have one now, you know, you may want to in the future. They don't embrace you with that. They will really seriously just write you off as a pick me, a panderer, or whatever, and they're just done with you. And that amazes me. Um, there was another point that I was about to make with that, but let me just continue on. Oh, yeah. So it goes right into what I was about to say. Now, here's the thing. We often hear about men moving the goalposts. I have talked about men moving the goalposts. Now, what I talk about moving the goalpost, these are usually on certain topics. You know what I'm saying? But the patriarchy just in itself, they ain't moved the goal. Like, patriarchy is patriarchy. They mean the same thing. They say the same. It's been consistent for centuries. Okay. Um, but I keep seeing on the women's side, this decentering men's side, I keep seeing things that they don't like about a certain woman or whatever, that will get thrown in as being pick me. Um, the example of that, and when I say moving the goalposts, I'm talking about changing what decentering men means, or changing and adding to, oh, well, this is now pick me. And it's weird to me because what it seems that I've seen is I see them now just adding boy moms. Like, if you are a boy mom, many of these women put you in the pick me category, whether they know you, whether you have had any, I mean, just being a boy mom, I have seen a lot of these women, they'll be on a panel and they will, there's a topic about whatever. All of the women are pretty much on the same thing of, we're mad, men shouldn't be doing this, men need to do whatever. And I'm not saying that I don't agree with what they're saying. The point is, a woman will get on there and say something like, well, my son, he's in college. My son is doing really good. My son is married or has a long-term girlfriend. My son is, trying to be a good dad, blah, blah. And and she's recognizing her son and saying all these things. You'll start seeing women in the comments saying stuff like boy mom, pandering boy mom. Oh, we not listening to her because she got a son. And so she gonna side with me and but ain't nobody thinking about what she said. And it's just, I'll be like, but okay, here's how I'm looking at it. I'm looking at it like, okay, y'all mad at men. The patriarchy, a lot of it is BS. The whole concept of it, so much of it is BS. And I'm not even gonna go into all the aspects of patriarchy. But we know for the most part, it don't do a lot for women. Like where we stand, it ain't good for us. Um, but I'm saying to myself, but like, so a woman that has given birth to sons and she has raised a good son. She is pointing out that her son is with his girlfriend or has married his he's married. Maybe he's taking care of his children. Maybe he don't screw around on women. Maybe he's not a horrible guy. I'm looking at that as like, okay, see, this gives me hope because I'm looking at it like, see, not all of them are shit bags. You know what I'm saying? Like there are good ones, and I know this. I point this out. I know there's still good men. But like I say, when you get back over here to the decentering men platform, you can't seem to say that. Like they really will call you out, point you out, and say something about you saying good things about men. And I'm not just talking about the ones in your family. Like I know men, I have known good men who are not in my family, just good black men. You know what I'm saying? And but if you say that, they will. That's a pygmy. Oh, oh, she pandering to me. And it's just like how? So, because I'm saying, okay, so that means that we're really so decentering men. Really, that means hate men. Because I hate to be that small-minded and petty as to think that way. But I hear some men say stuff like that. And I try to step in and stand up and defend women because that ain't my understanding of what decentering men means. Decentering men in my head is what I tell my daughter. Get your education. Don't be worrying about getting no strong or get into no, real hardcore relationship right now. You're young. Go travel. Finish school. Um, or continue your education. Um, do things that you want. Buy yourself things. Take yourself out. Like decenter men as in not making them just your life and your focal point, but still eventually I know my daughter want to get married. somewhere eventually, I know my daughter wants a good boyfriend. Like, I mean, these are the things that she wants, and I don't discourage that. Like, I'm not telling my daughter to be lesbian. I'm not telling my daughter to hate men. Yeah, I tell her that, a whole bunch of them act like just shit. They really do. The mindsets are effed up. But I ain't telling her to go find no girlfriend. I'm not telling her to go get a woman. You know, frankly, I tell her do, whatever it is that she feels that she needs to do for her life, then do that. But I know that my daughter's heterosexual. I know that that is what she's looking for. That's the conversations that we have, and that is her right. Um, but it's just the hate that seems to come. And I'm also not saying that all women who are decentering men or whatever feel that way. I don't know. But like a whole bunch of them seem to feel that way. I don't know if maybe that's what the movement is actually about. I don't know. I don't know. But I know the extreme of it, the extreme of patriarchy is the incels and completely hating women and even unaliving women. It seems to me, it seems to me, I can't see where women decentering men, hopefully for the purpose of doing for yourself, getting for yourself, enjoying yourself and your life, and then eventually, find a man that has worked on himself and he's gotten therapy and he don't think that way, and you eventually go off and get yourself a good relationship and marry, have babies. Well, like these things to me are still possible. So, like, I don't know, maybe that's where I'm delusional at, because maybe decentering men don't mean, I'm just going to do me until I find, or until a good man comes around, or a man that I could deal with comes around, or just whatever. It's seeming to me that decentering men literally means hate men, don't have nothing else to do with them, go get you a girlfriend and be happy. And it's just like, that's not my understanding of decentering men. Like, that's not what I mean. Let me see what other points I have before I cut the video off. Um, I Women do a lot of hating on other women. There's still a lot of jealousy. There's still a lot of, this is our group and you're over there type stuff that I see with women. There is still a lot of just blasting other women. Like when I did the video about Simone Biles, and I said jealous women hating on Simone Biles. And still, I don't see, because I answered back some of those women. I haven't been back on that video in a minute because the comments and stuff is just crazy. But some of the ones that I saw and answered back, these women, in my opinion, didn't have a reason to hate Simone Biles. Like they didn't, I still don't see it, except for jealousy, except for, one woman did even go so far as to say something about she ain't even all that cute, and he looked better than her. So I'm like, so you think she ugly, you don't think she's attractive, and you think he too cute for her, and so therefore you don't like it. That's high school. That's very high school, and that's very petty. And the thing that I see about men in this patriarchy, as I close, what I see about patriarchy is, you could take a man. Let's take a man who has been called a simp, who has been called panderer and all these type things by other men. That very same man that they're calling the panderer and the simp, the very next day can change his views and be like, man, these bees, man, these hoes, and women do this and women do that. And I can guarantee you, he is going to have a new following of men that very next day. He is going to have a bunch of men in his corner, uh, surrounding him, supporting him, and things like that. A woman, if women have deemed a woman a pick me, whether she is or not, if they've deemed her that, if they deemed her as pandering to men or whatever, she can't come back into a group with other women. Women are not going to, doesn't really matter what she says, or even if she's not saying things that are pick me, you know, women for the most part are not going to come back and embrace her and love on her and support her. At the end of the day, what I'm saying is that the patriarchy is winning because men are on one accord. Men are all saying the same thing. Those who are in those movements, or those who are leaning toward those movements, those men have a togetherness and a brotherhood, even in wrong, that is unshakable. I mean, so much so that, like I said before, many times women are like, where, like, do y'all have the same playbook? Like, how do y'all all have the same talking points? How do y'all all keep saying the same thing? That's where men are. Women, I still see a lot of hating. I still see a lot of, oh, her hair. And, oh, why you wear that dress? What's wrong with your hair? Why, like how they badgered, Simone Biles at her wedding. I see a lot of tearing down of other women on a lot of different platforms. And I don't see women gathering together to support, love on, and really be there for all women, like I see men gravitate and will hold up any man, any race, anytime, like whatever. If they feel like it's something, if they feel like it's something that's good, that benefits men or the patriarchy, they tend to gather around it. Period. Just point blank. Like I say, I don't see women doing that. I still see women online, like I say, talking of just being very high schooly, very mean girly, and very and I also, here's another thing that I still see. Here's another thing that I still see with a lot of women. I will see a lot of women, like I just said about the Simone Biles things, that'll say and tear down one woman who got a man, and maybe a halfway decent man. I don't know, just a man. And other women will tear this woman completely down. Other women still get in other women's DM about or their man's DM trying to take their man from them. I still see that. I'm not saying that men don't do that, but it's like stuff that you expect from men. You know what I'm saying? Not saying it's okay and it's right, but that's something you would expect from men. Women who are supposed to be trying to, or supposed to be, I guess, sticking together, sisterhood, whatever. There's no sisterhood. I guess that's what I'm trying to say. I'm not seeing the sisterhood the way that I see the brotherhood with patriarchy. And that's why I see patriarchy winning. I really do. That's why I see patriarchy standing strong and not going anywhere. I mean, women are going to have to gain that sisterhood and support of other women. I still see way too many women online when something happens to a woman, or she's attacked, or she gets beaten, or the R word, or whatever, unalived, and I still see way too many women saying stuff like, what did she do? I wonder what she run in her mouth, or stuff like, well, it's too early. I have to hear both sides of the story. Men don't say stuff like that. and maybe some of them do, but I don't hear a lot of men who are together as they are saying stuff like that. I just hear, yeah, them bees do this. Yeah, all them hoes this. And females this and and I just see men just sticking together. I just see them sticking together. But if there's a victim, if there's a woman, if there's any kind of slander, any kind of whatever, there are still way too many women that are ready to jump on that woman like the other men are and not supporting other women. Don't support each other hands down, no matter what, just gathering around each other. Now, let me say this. I don't think it's right even when men do it because, like I said, a lot of them men be dead wrong, but they still support each other. We see that a lot in, what do you call it? We see that a lot in racism. We see racist, people who they what they're saying is horribly wrong. What they're saying is racist. What they're saying is hurtful, damaging. But you'll still see other people, other racist people supporting them. They all stand up there together. They gonna hold each other up, even in the face of wrong. And we know that we've been saying, if you're black in America, and let's say a minority in America, you've seen that. But once again, on the other side, you do not see that type of just blind support for other women like that. You get other women who will bash other women, who will talk down to other women, who will shun other women, who will not let other women in the group, who will um, try to take another woman man. Like, I mean, all of this. And so I'm not seeing the strength of women unity and togetherness like I see with the patriarchy. I just don't see it. And so, therefore, what I feel and what I really think and believe is that this decentering men is not going to probably make a powerful impact. I think it will change some things. It's already changing some things. It's changing kind of like the overall dynamic of stuff, but still the whole point, like I keep saying, is it's supposed to be some type of end goal. It's supposed to be a togetherness where women's bonds are stronger, where women stand up and speak out more for each other. And I'm not saying that it don't happen anywhere. I'm just saying, as a unified group, as a unified movement, I don't see this decentering men as strong as I do the patriarchy or incels or whatever. Like they strong. Even incels, they're all on one accord. They all think the same, believe this. Like you can point them out because they're so much the same. You can't do that with any kind of women's movement so much that I see. I'm not saying all, but lastly, I need to know what the end goal is. The end goal to patriarchy is for men to continue to being on top, men keep making more money, men keep plowing ahead, men keep being all on one accord. Many of them, not all, seem to have a good hate and disdain for women. That's all unified and everything. So my question then is, what is the end goal to decentering men? Is it that you have to hate men, don't say nothing good about them, don't have any hope of ever getting a relationship because if you even say something like that, a lot of these women will shut you down quick. Like they will shut you down quick. I've seen them shut other women down. That's why certain stuff I don't even say on some of those comments or some of these panels, because I already know where the women are going to go. And it's like they're going to just fly in like a bunch of vultures and just tear you apart. I've seen them do other women like that. I literally have seen them do other women like that. But as long as they're talking about hating men, men ain't shit, and you know, all my 1,500 degrees and the whole thing, and I ain't saying nothing about degrees, but I'm just saying, all of that is good, well and fine. But say you're looking for a good man. Say you're looking for a relationship. Say that you still like men, like you're sexually attracted to men. Say that you know eventually you will get a good relationship with a good man. What is that? Good man. What is that? I mean, it's just like they're talking about something that's just completely impossible and can't ever and won't ever exist. I don't believe that. First of all, I know I got a good son. Second of all, I've seen too many good men in my family. I have sat on here and I've told you guys how there are couples in my family who have been together for a long, I'm talking about for a couple of decades now. 2, 3, 4 decades at this point. And they're not all married, but they're together. Some of them are married. Got a couple of cousins. Yeah, they're married, and some of them are just still in long-term relationships. But they're still in the relationship, and like to me, that's what matters. Everybody don't have to get married if they don't want to. You guys, I hope I made my point. I hope I stayed on task. I hope you guys understood everything that I was saying. Um, I just feel, I wrote something on the back. Give me a second. I just feel like patriarchy at this point in time is winning because women, we don't have that unity yet. We don't love other women enough. We really don't. A lot of us, like I just said, we talk about men being simps and everything, and we talk about men, being, emotionally unintelligent and not ready for relationships and things like that. And you know, but I see a lot of the same thing on the female side. I see a lot of emotionally unintelligent women who badger and pick on and bully other women. You see that. You see the mean girls clubs with women. Yeah. And I think that's a problem. And I think that's why patriarchy is going to continue to win. So I wrote that decentering men is becoming radicalized. That's what it seems to me. I don't know yet. It's new. I don't see the full whatever of it. And like I say, I don't see the end goal of it. I don't, I mean, that's kind of big for me because really, what is the end goal of decentering men? Like I said, I thought it was about eventually working on yourself and doing what you need to do so that eventually, if you still want a relationship or a man or a marriage or whatever, you can start moving in that direction to make those things happen for yourself. But it's seeming like decentering men is like for real, never, ever, ever having anything else to do with a man. Like just completely getting them out of your life, even to the point of unaliving your children. Now, I'm gonna leave it on that note, but I'm hearing a lot of these women talk about aborting boy babies, unaliving boy babies, and not, if I find out mine is a boy, I ain't gonna have. And it's just like, I've never said nothing like that on my platform. I'm not going to say anything like that on my platform. Uh, yeah, I mean, I ain't going to even really go into that, but just like, that's not me. That's not what I stand for. It's not what I believe in. You know, yeah, that could be a real touchy subject, but I'm not, under certain circumstances, of course, I believe, things need to be done. But just because I'm having a boy child, I'm going to abort. I heard this woman on TikTok. She was one of the ones that's always on some of the panels that I see. And the discussion was going really nice. And I, again, don't remember what it was talking about, but it was about relationships and something I think about child support or supporting the children or something like that. And a man said something, and this woman shot back so quick, and that's why we abort those kids. And I'm like, and I know that she just blurted it out like that without thinking, because I don't even think you can use that word on TikTok like that. You know what I'm saying? And I just said it. I think hopefully, YouTube is a little bit, you know, more understanding. But yeah, it amazes me how quick you can just say something like that out of your mouth. And I'm not judging anybody. People do what they want to with their body, but if it comes down to a thing of you're aborting male children because you hate men, like that, that's something different. I ain't nowhere on that. I am nowhere on that. So if that makes me a pick me, if the fact that I still want a man and no, I have not got on any of those panels and said anything like that, like I say, I just see how they treat other women who say stuff like that. They get completely like those women are shut out. They're completely shut out. I hear women on there talking, about finding other women's information and finding out about them. One woman was so mad. She was just talking about how I can't stand that bee, and she get up here and she always talking about da, 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 da. Anybody got her information, let me know. I beat that bee. And I'm just like, what? And how is that good for women's unity? Like that ain't, even if you do not like her or hate her or want to, you ain't got to air that all over TikTok, because then you don't know who's listening on TikTok. You don't know who's in these rooms. And she may have some supporters that's putting a bug in her ear, let her know, and then call you out. People on the internet can find anything at this point. I've seen people on the internet, something happened to somebody, and within 30 minutes, people got his address. They at the people's house. So I just don't think it's wise to be throwing out threats like that all over the internet, and you don't know who's listening. You don't know who her family is. You don't. And she was just literally going off. And from what I understood, she'd never officially met this woman in person. She just didn't like her personality from, I guess, platform to platform or whatever. But to be saying stuff like that. And why I bring that up is because I personally, I'm not saying that it don't happen, but as a rule, I don't hear men on any social network platforms talking about whooping another dude's behind, or especially about something about a woman. But talking about fighting another dude and dragging another dude, because you don't hear that. I really do not hear that. I don't hear other men talk about fighting other men because they don't like them. Like I don't hear that. Not saying it don't happen, but that's way more of a female thing. And to me, it's just not smart to be, it's just not smart to do that. I mean, because like I'm saying, what is that going to do for women's unity? So you guys, thank you for listening and watching. Please hit the subscribe button, please. I know it's videos long. Hit all notifications so that you'll know when I upload new videos. Leave me a comment. Thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. And until the next video, I'll see you next time.